Good morning, beautiful people of the internet. It is lovely Saturday. It's time to talk about something yet again, right? Who would have guessed? I've decided that I'm gonna try and move my upload schedule to Saturdays because that's my day off, and it gives me a day to kind of look at what I want to talk about throughout the week, and then do that. From now on, I think I'm gonna try and stick to a strict schedule of uploading a video every Saturday. And today, well, we're doing just that. We got a video. I will say this week in news was a little off. I think the biggest thing that happened was which Supreme Court justice stepped down or is retiring, announced his retirement, or I should say, his retirement was announced for him by the liberal media because they don't want to have a similar issue to what happened last time, particularly with, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, where the red wave comes and they can't get their nominee through, which would be very hypocritical of the Republicans, but it is also hypocritical of them at this point because they were, complaining about how the Republicans were ramming through nominations for Supreme Court, right? Now it's exactly what they're trying to do, or they may be trying to do. So we'll see what happens with that. Biden's economy sucks. Ukraine's still an issue. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about, really. So we're going to talk about this wonderful poll in this article from Newsweek. Anyone guess what it says? Anthony Fauci loses trust with Americans as confidence in CDC plummets. This is a poll. Now, I started reading this and I was a little surprised, I will say, about how much confidence he actually has. Right? So, conservative media attacks on the country's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, have eroded the confidence that Americans have in what he says about COVID, a poll has found. Yeah, I love how it's framed as conservative media attacks. No, this dude lied to everyone repeatedly and repeatedly, time and time again. He has been shown to be untrustworthy. The fact that there's still people that actually trust this guy are ridiculous. He's been wrong constantly. He's lied to our faces. He lied about the mask. This is way back when, right? But then it comes to, as it comes out, gain of function research, and did they fund it? Yes, there's literal documentation from the government that has been published that says he did it. So his credibility and his loss of credibility is on himself, not conservative media attacks. It's the fact that he should no longer hold his position. He has lied to the public blatantly, time and time again. Also comes out, he's doing these terrible, terrible experiments. He's the whole Monkey Island thing, which recently there was a story about, but the dogs in cages with, literally sand fleas on their noses, and they're held there and made to suffer for what reason, right? That's all part of this guy. That's underneath this guy. So the conservative media did not take away this guy's trustworthiness or didn't take away his credibility. He did to himself. And the fact that everything that's been going on with COVID is been wrong. The response from the government. The COVID's still here, right? So that means we were told, 2 weeks to stop the curve or whatever. And it's done nothing. We're now 3 variants 2 years later, 3 variants deep. We're still having to wear masks. They're calling for vax mandates. This vaccine was supposed to be, it was you get the jab and that was the end of it. And now it's, you got to get fucking 5, 6, 7 boosters depending on where you're going in the world. We can't just accept it and move on. And that's all based around this guy's policies. It's also been found in emails that he was working with Facebook to curb misinformation, right? And he also put out information to discredit other scientists, even though they had valid scientific inquiries, right? And he also tried to stop the whole made in a lab theory. He tried to nip that in the butt because he has good friends. He's very close to certain people. It's not surprising that he has no credibility. The survey by the University of Pennsylvania, Annenberg, blah, blah, Public Policy Center also found that trust in coronavirus information from the Centers of Disease Control, CDC, and the FDA dipped in January. So this is what surprised me the most, is what this survey found. So let's read it. It found that the confidence in whether Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, gave trustworthy pandemic advice had fallen to 65%, down from 71% in April 2021, which the poll described as a statistical meaningful drop. The fact that there's still 65% of people polled that think this guy is trustworthy or gives actual good information, that number's way too high. Like there's no way this poll is this skewed, right? I don't understand how 65% of people, luckily it's going down. Thankfully people are waking the hell up. But Jesus, that's just 65% people still think this guy has any amount of credibility. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. More than 1/3 said they weren't confident in Fauci, which was up, yeah, from basically it's what you expect to see, right? As his trustworthy goes down, people that don't trust him goes up. Great, wonderful bull. CDC's dropped. Yep. So, oh well, here trustworthy and CDC among Democrats fell to 89% in this month, which is down from 94% in April. So basically, if you're a Democrat, you're sucking these guys off. You think that they actually you you're probably still watching CNN, MSNBC, and getting that's where your news source comes from. So you don't get the actual information. You get the propaganda. Much like if you're just watching Fox News, you get that propaganda. So not surprising. But this has nothing to do with conservative media. If you want to write this as the hippies, like they came out and attacked him, that's not how this works. Fauci did it to himself. Fauci has been the target of withering criticism on conservative media outlets for his criticism of his handling of the pandemic. In November on Fox News, he was compared to the Nazi doctor Joseph Mengele and the Italian fascist doctor Benito Mussolini. Well, short of doing experiments on humans, what more you got to say there? His policies has not really been based upon anything factual outside of what he considers the facts, right? He is science. If you're critiquing him, you're critiquing science. That's not how science works, asshole. That was his statement, right? He is the science. CDC has also been attacked over its vaccine and masking guidance, yes, because it's been inconsistent. In January, it was accused by the conservative media of misleading the public about the extent of COVID casualties, following comments by CDC Director Rochelle Walensky. Yeah. Well, this was the whole died with COVID or died from COVID debacle because she didn't have those numbers. We're not tracking that apparently until now. Now it's important. APPC Director Kathleen Hale Jameson said that although overall confidence remains high in Fauci and the CDC, the poll's result was deeply concerning because voices that speak for the best available science need to be trusted and heard as we navigate the pandemic. Well, that's just bullshit. We know that statement's a lie. How many doctors and other people got kicked off of social media, had their YouTube videos removed and all this because they didn't go with the line. They were misleading people and giving COVID misinformation. This is why we now have on Facebook the wonderful little COVID banner. Like you just don't want people to listen to things that outside sources that may contradict what you're saying. This is why you've seen massive smear campaigns against a lot of other doctors. Well, who was the guy that Joe Rogan did the interview with, the founder of NRA and vaccination, right? And he was supposed to be this terrible person, this big anti-vax mislead. No, he wasn't. Actually, he wasn't saying any of that. He was just saying that the data that is being provided and that these people are using is out of line, and it doesn't match up with what they're saying. He wasn't anti-vaccination. He just said that the stuff that they're saying doesn't add up. I don't know why that's such a terrible thing, but it is. So the fact that 65% of Americans still trust Fauci is ridiculous. Wake up, people. Think for yourselves. Get outside this fucking two-party system. Stop listening to left, stop listening to right, and listen to a little bit of both, and find new stuff. Right? Go out there. Follow Spike Cohen on Twitter, Instagram, everything. That guy is amazing. He's very smart, but he also pokes a lot of good holes in a lot of his bullshit theories. And if you know who he was a Libertarian vice president candidate this past election, and he's a really smart guy. Obviously, I'm a Libertarian, so voted for him. I'd vote for him again. Hopefully, hopefully he can become president. Get out there, stop listening to these fucking buffoons. Newsweek, yeah, you're literally just blowing Anthony Fauci. You and the rest of the freaking mainstream media, except for Fox News, this man loves himself some Fauci. It's just ridiculous. But anyways, that's the video for today. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm going to the new schedule is going to be uploading every Saturday. So feel free to come back, check for the content. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.